The sport of wakeskating is gaining a small but very enthusiastic following in South Africa. Among the foremost exponents of wakeskating is Matty Bass, who explains how he was drawn to the sport.
Basically, it was a whole string of events, really. My brother and his friends were all involved in it. I was just a younger kid, like skateboarding or whatever, was following them, and they introduced me to the sport of wakeboarding. Wakeboarded for about a year, ended up coming to the cable park and was just like, wow, I really want to try this wakeskating. I'd seen all these other guys doing it. Basically, the combination of skateboarding and wakeboarding it just led me to basically being really comfortable on the wake skate, and that's kind of where it kicked off from there.
So what is it all about, wakeskating, and particularly the board? Well, who better than Matty to explain the ins and outs to us?
So basically a wake skate is it's compressed pliers, so just a really thick piece of wood. On the top you've got your grip tape, just like a skateboard would have. Like I say, exactly like a skateboard would have. You just take normal skate shoes, you're not attached to the board. That's the most important thing you got to remember when you watch the videos, we're not attached to the board. And then on the bottom it's just basically super slick, no fins, nothing like that. Basically like a snowboard base. And that's pretty much it. That's the basics of a wake skate.
Matty is the driving force behind a video that was released last month called Reflections, in which wakeskating pioneer American Brian Grubb joined Matty to session some of Durban's iconic beachfront spots. He gives us more details.
So basically Reflections is myself and Brian Grubb just riding from one end of Durban's beachfront to the other. I'd always wanted to ride in like the beachfront pools. I'd always wanted to ride in the canals where they do the gondolas and everything. So that was the seed that was planted, and from there we just kept walking along the beachfront and we're like, oh cool, like we got past the Marine World, we passed all these other cool places to the Moyo Pier. From that the idea came to just do this video where we started at Moyo, rode in the canals, went through the Marine World, finished at the beachfront pools, which are like really iconic for Durban, and also a really unique and challenging but very different and fun place to wake skate in like a completely different context to your normal cable.
Shooting a video like Reflections in a city as busy as Durban while using public spaces as the stage during the holiday season came with its own unique challenges, as Matty tells us.
Obviously Durban, like super busy in December. We were filming it in the beginning of December, and our call times to make it work, we had to be there at like 4 o'clock in the morning, shoot the first 3 hours of the day, especially at the pool spots and that. Secondly, it was permitting. You had to make sure everything was signed off. All this red tape that you normally don't go through before you hop on your wake skate, we had to try and resolve, before even starting it. So those are the major challenges. While riding and stuff there, obviously you've got 2 people at the same time doing tricks together. That's quite tough because normally you'd focus in on one guy trying to get one trick. Now you're focusing on 2 guys trying to get 2 tricks at the same time. So that took a bit of time trying to perfect our timing more than anything. Often one would land before the other, or one would fall while the other one's timing was good. So it definitely required a bit of persistence to get those shots we did.
Brian Grubb ditched his wakeboard for wakeskating in the early 2000s and turned professional in 2003. He went on to win just about every title in the sport, including the World Championships. However, the 38-year-old from Nashua, New Hampshire's real passion is for free riding, and he's made films of his exploits all over the world. Matty and Brian's friendship goes back many years, germinating in South Africa when the wakeskating legend was on a visit to this country.
I met Brian about 14 years ago, right here at this cable that we had today, when he was not competing, it was more of a demo of a Red Bull project. Full circle later, it was time to work on this project, and he's just been the guy from the beginning who has always pushed the limits of unique places to wake skate, and he was by far the best guy for this job. Just bringing him and really involving him in his experience and his skill, everything he has when it comes to wake skating in new places. Apart from that, him just being like one of the forefathers of the sport. It's an honor to work with him, and it really is just cool to have him in our backyard and to cruising around with him.
Matty has used his passion for wakeskating to see the world. His inquiring and engaging personality has driven him to connect with like-minded wake skaters all over the globe. His most recent trip was another video project that took him to South America.
So I just got back just before filming for Reflections from a trip to Brazil and Argentina. which was really cool to see because they're countries with similar economies to us, similar issues that are faced, similar wakeboarding and wake skating scenes too. So we went there on a filming project, which was really cool to see, really cool to engage with people who are also maybe a little bit distant from the American scene, and just to bring them closer to that and bring them closer to wake skaters from other parts of the world.
Wake skating requires a certain amount of infrastructure, the most obvious being lakes and cables. Matty believes that despite its relatively low profile, the sport of wake skating is on an upward curve in popularity here in South Africa.
So at the moment, the sport is still very niche. It's still growing. It's kind of on the up. After a little bit of a dip, it's picking up again. And yeah, hopefully with all the cables that are popping up, the cables in Bloemfontein, there's cable parks, there's a few in Durban, Joburg, Limpopo, Cape Town. So there really is a really good platform for the sport to grow from now. So I'd say in the next few years, I'd see a lot more wake skaters involved.
It may well be a niche sport, but wake skating is a thrilling way to push one's perceptions of what is possible on the water.